Manchester United's 4 summer targets revealed, and are Manchester United set to release Anthony Martial? That's what we'll be discussing on today's show. But before we do that, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. So let's start out with this story that's come out from Samuel Luckhurst in the Manchester Evening News this afternoon. And he is going through the 4 targets that Manchester United are looking at bringing in the summer transfer window. I know we've only just had the end of the last window, but I do think this is interesting, and I think it's an interesting topic to talk about on today's show. Now, the 4 targets that apparently Manchester United are looking at are a fullback, a centre-back, a central midfielder, and an attacker, which I agree with all 4 of them. I think, obviously, Malacia, there's a few question marks over. Luke Shaw, couple of injuries recently. Obviously, Dalot and Wan-Bissaka at right back. There's always been a bit of uncertainty there. I think a fullback is definitely one we need to definitely look at. Centre-back, I 100% agree with. I think we need to replace Raphael Varane in the next year or two. Obviously, his contract expires in 2 years' time, and I don't expect Manchester United to be renewing it past that point. Central midfielder, again, I think we need to strengthen. You know, we've lost Fred. Obviously, it looks like Donny van der Beek will go at some point. It looks like McTominay will also go. So I definitely think a central midfielder is another position we 100% need to strengthen in, and also an attacker. We need another striker. But let me know if you agree with those 4 positions that we're supposedly highlighting for the summer transfer window. He also goes into depth on some of the names that are being thrown into the mix at the moment, the most likely options. So he says Bayern Leverkusen's Jeremy Frimpong and Edmund Tapsoba are of interest during the summer when United consider making approaches. He also goes on to say, now this is interesting, he says, United have also been monitoring Brighton striker Evan Ferguson, who just got his first hat-trick against Newcastle earlier this month. He says the 18-year-old signed a new contract until 2028 earlier this year to protect his resale value, although sources believe it is possible Ferguson could be transferred next year. Now, out of those 3 players that we've just mentioned, Evan Ferguson, 100% we need to go and get. He needs to be him, and Rasmus Højlund could be the future attack of Manchester United for the next 10 years. One's 18 and one's 20. Both have the potential to be world-class players. And I would 100% go and get Evan Ferguson next summer without a shadow of a doubt, alongside Rasmus Højlund. We will talk about Anthony Martial in a minute, and we will talk about a couple of other attackers, but I think that's 100% for me. That needs to be the number 1 priority in the attacking positions. I agree with Jeremy Frimpong at right back. I think he would offer us a lot in those areas. Obviously, we've got Diogo Dalot, who's kind of good at going forward and okay at defensive work, whereas Wan-Bissaka, elite defensively, not great going forward. I don't think we have a real attacking right back at this moment in time. And you know what? I quite like Diogo Dalot at left back. So maybe Dalot could be moved over to left back as the backup for Luke Shaw. Maybe Malacia goes out on loan for a season. He's still very, very young. He's only 22, 23. Send Malacia out on loan for a season, and then maybe you bring in Jeremy Frimpong at right back. So you've got the option of either a very attacking right back with Jeremy Frimpong, or you've got the option of going with Wan-Bissaka, who's, in my opinion, one of the best one-on-one defenders in world football in the right back position. So I agree with both of those, Jeremy Frimpong and Evan Ferguson. In relation to Edmund Tapsoba, I don't really agree with that one. I don't think that he's the number 1 option in the list. Obviously, we spoke about Antonio Silva from Benfica on the show this morning. I think he would be a quality signing. There's a couple of reporters from Portugal saying that apparently Erik ten Hag is strongly considering Antonio Silva. Obviously, we had links to Jean-Claire Todibo. I think there's way more better players than Edmund Tapsoba personally. But, you know, this is just a name that's been thrown into the mix at this moment in time. Now, moving over to Anthony Martial, Samuel Luckhurst goes on to say that United could end up releasing Anthony Martial if his stagnation continues. Martial turns 28 in December, and he has scored a dismal 17 goals for United in the last 3 seasons, which is terrible. 17 goals in 3 seasons, not great. He says the Frenchman is out of contract next year, and United must decide whether to trigger the 1-year contract extension. So his current deal expires in, I think it's May or June of next year, and Manchester United, as they always do, have this option to add in this 1-year extension past that. Now, for me, I think he 110% has to go, and I think you get rid of him and you bring in someone like Evan Ferguson. You go and break the bank and bring in someone for the future, because Anthony Martial isn't good enough for Manchester United anymore. I think there was elements maybe in his first 1 or 2 seasons where I thought he was. When he was playing on the wing, I quite liked him. But ever since he's been a striker, I don't really rate him at all. He's injury prone. He just doesn't really look up to the speed of it anymore either. Like, obviously, when he's come back this season, I don't think he really looks completely up to speed, and I would 100% not be giving him a new contract. Even if it was just for 1 year, I don't think that's a sensible option. The thing you have to remember with Anthony Martial as well, and I know I always bring these things into the shows, but I think it's important to give context. Anthony Martial is the third highest paid player at Manchester United. He's currently on £250,000 per week, which is about £13 million per season. Definitely not the kind of money we want to be spending on a player like that. You know, he is past his best. He's getting older. His injury records are terrible. 100% need to release him. But do let me know what you think Manchester United should do with Anthony Martial. Do you think they should release him next summer as a free agent, or would you like him to stay for one more year? Obviously, because we do have this option to extend it. Also, please do let me know what your thoughts are on all of the targets that we've gone through today. Just to clarify, it's a fullback, a centre-back, a central midfielder and an attacker. And please do let me know in the comment section who you would be looking at in watch positions. So let me know what centre-back you'd go for. Let me know what attacker you'd go for, what midfielder and what fullback you would go for. Let me know in the comment section. I always like to see what you guys have to say. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe on your way out, and I'll catch you all later.